So let's go over how to work with ESXi 6.5. Here we want to make a VM. So the first thing we do is to log into this thing. You can use the same password as you have on the actual console on the server. In this case, we're using a Mac Pro server. And we're logged in remotely. So this is a new 6.5 web UI, or the web GUI. This is a really nice way to go. I've really been happy with this web GUI. So let's make a VM here. Let's take a look first of all at our server here. So you can tell it has some stats on our Apple Mac Pro that we're using. And looks like we have about 10 gigs memory free. Almost a terabyte of storage. CPUs aren't doing anything here, so it's pretty nice. You can manage a lot of aspects of the ESXi server here. It's pretty well done. You can also monitor what's been happening. All this stuff is a lot like vSphere. It's just now I'm on a Mac and I'm not using Windows, I'm using a Mac to do this. So this is really pleasant for me. I can use my Mac and just manage a instance of ESXi. Anyway, back to our VM. So you can see now we have 0 VMs here. We do have one data store, which is good. We have one network interface, which isn't generous, but there's 2, I think, in the Mac Pro we could use. Anyway, so let's create a VM here. So go to VM, create a VM. Let's make a new virtual machine. I'm just going to call it Ubuntu test 16.04. Let's call it that. Okay, so OS family, Linux, Ubuntu. That's it. Okay, data store, we get about 924 gigabytes left. So I think there's some stuff on here I want to clean up, but not quite sure yet how to do that. Okay, for this VM, on this Apple Pro, the Mac Pro server, I have 24 CPUs, 24 cores. It's 2 Xeons with 2 6 cores. So I got 2 Xeons with 12 physical cores, and then there's like 12 virtual cores in this thing, which is when the Intel does it. So I'm gonna use 4 cores, memory 2048, hard drive. I'll give it 20 gigs for this test. That's fine. Network adapter is fine. This is good. Let's go next. Check our settings here. 6.5 virtual machine, CPUs, memory, network adapters. Finish it up. Was rejected. It's weird. I've seen this happen. I'm not sure it's a bug. Let's try it again. Next. Just gonna call this thing Ubuntu 123. I'm not sure why this does this, but Linux OS version Ubuntu again. Okay, looks like it didn't make any storage this time. 4 CPUs. Maybe I'll try 21 gigs this time. That should be it. Finish it. Okay. This time it made the VM. I'm not sure what happened last time, but it sure didn't work. Now, the problem we have is I want to start this VM and install Ubuntu image. Ubuntu ISO is on my Mac laptop here. So here I go over here and I say, yeah, I have the image right here. I want to get that image onto this VM. And boy, it's not easy. So you can't just use it and get the image ISO onto that VM without installing something called VMware Remote Console. So Remote Console, how do you find that? Well, you can go to Help here and say Tools and Links, go to Remote Console. You can download this thing from VMware. Of course, it's not working for some reason now, but anyway, download it from VMware, log in and grab it. I already have it here. I downloaded this thing tonight, so since I'm on a Mac, it's a DMG, so double click on this thing. Oh, before you do that, you want to make sure your security settings are good for allowing you, let's see, where am I at here? Yeah, you want to make sure your security is good for letting you download stuff, so let's try and install this remote console. You have to have this for the ISO. To get the ISO on this thing, you gotta have it. So double click on this and open it and put your password in to install this thing, and now it should be in applications. I'm thinking, so close this, and if we look at applications now, there it is. And strangely enough about this thing, I think if we click it here, it won't do much. It might ask if it can run once or something. Okay, so that thing is a placeholder. It's there. You'll use this image when you fire up the VM. So, but you must have this installed for your ISO for your CD. So now here's the difficult part. There's our machine. We can start the machine now, and you want to start this thing, and you want to use the virtual console when you start it. So let's power it on. It'll fire up with the console here. And what you want to do to mount your CD is you want to bring up the virtual console. So I think we go over here for that. And we want to bring up the virtual console. We've already downloaded it, so you want to, they call it now Remote Console, which is rather strange, but it's what you do, and that'll launch that thing we have in the application folder. So okay, there we go. Yeah, and they're saying, yeah, so the Mac is kind of suspicious about this. Actually, no, it looks like our browser's doing this, which is good. And you probably got to restart the browser too when you install this thing. Okay, this is good. This is good. Fantastic. There's the remote console. So it's saying no OS is installed, and that's about normal. So I fought with this thing the first time I did this, and the only way I got this to work was I set the VM to boot up in BIOS mode. So we go to Edit, and I want to get this thing to go into BIOS mode, so I go here into Boot Options, and this seems consistent with how I used to use the old VMware client on Windows. It seemed about the same kind of oddness. Okay, it boots up next time. Let's hold it in BIOS. Let's do that. Save it. Now I'm going to power it off, power it on again. So where's my console? It's down there. Okay. Power off. It's off. Power on. Let's watch the console here. The virtual console. Okay, now we're in BIOS. And that's all well and good. This is our virtual console. Here's our CD right here, right? So let's hit this. Settings. And advanced options, I think. This is nasty. Nope. There was some way I did this, and it was right here, I think. Hard disk, CD-ROM. No, that's not it. So I think it's this. I don't want to disconnect it. Or maybe I do. Let's disconnect it. Okay, this is right, I think. Damn. Oh, man. Okay. This is really confusing. Okay, this is how you do it. My God. So I had to go through all these steps. And I'm glad this is being documented for you and for me. So finally, we get down here and we say choose a local disk or disk image. Let's do that. And now it's taking me through my whole file system. So let's go onto my hard drive on this Mac and go into users. There's my home. And I think I put this thing right here under demo or something. Of course, I don't see my demo anywhere. That's typical. So my ISO is under demo under my home directory, and how can I find it? Search for demo. There it is. What do you know? Something works. Okay, so finally I've gotten to my remote image, which is this ISO here. I'm gonna open it. And now the DVD is supposedly connected to power on. So when I drop out of BIOS, this thing should go. So here we are with the CD finally connected up, right? And we're in BIOS. So the hope is that we're going to drop out of this thing and it's going to run this ISO. So now I had to connect that DVD with the BIOS on, as you've seen. Didn't change anything, okay? So when I exit the BIOS, the hope is that it's going to drop into the CD, right? Let's try it out. Boom. Boom. Okay, it's going off DHCP. I'm hoping it's going to drop off of this. I could hit escape, I suppose, and get rid of that. Let's try that. Escape. Nope, no OS. So it did not pick it up off the CD yet. If you're stuck in this window now, you got to hit like Control Command to get out of it. So Control Command will get you out of the remote console window. So looks like it didn't connect this thing. It got disconnected for some reason. This is really bizarre. Okay, now we're connected again. And are we still connected to our image? Yes, we are. There's the image right there. So this thing is still running. I'm gonna leave this window up like that, and the only way to re-kick, oh, there it goes. Boom, look at that. So that is what did it. I simply hit enter again, and I was able to boot off the CD. So that's the image. So that's the secret. Anyway, this is convoluted. It's not easy, but it's working now, right? So we'll install this thing now. Anyway, that's how to do this. I'm sorry I didn't do it directly for you, but we finally got it working right. Anyway, this is now a typical install of Ubuntu, which is pretty boring. Boy, it's flying pretty good. On 4 CPUs on this this Mac Pro server with 2 Xeons in it. Thing's flying. So it's actually grabbing this ISO and it's working off the Wi-Fi here. So my MacBook's on Wi-Fi to the server on my home Wi-Fi router, and it's just pulling stuff down fast. So it's pretty impressive. So anyway, this ought to be helpful to you. Let's see if this thing will finish for us real fast. Bada bing, bada ba. Wow, that thing's fast, huh? Okay, let's see if we can finish this thing up. Oh geez, it's never easy, right? Full name is my name right there, right? That's me. That's me. Of course it wants a password. Okay, we're getting to the password. Anyway. Whatever. Don't want encryption. It's looking for NTP. I'm not sure this thing's on the network. Wow, did it figure it out? That means we're on the net? I hope so. Okay. Let's do that. Let's do that. It's about right. We had 22 gigs, right? 21, 22. Let's see what happens here. Are we finally going to get done? What I want to do is see this thing boot up into a desktop screen, so we know it worked. What I also want to do is try and install Mac OS on this thing. That would be interesting to see if that would work. I doubt that'll work, but could we install High Sierra even? Boy, that'd be a first. But people do it, I hear. Oh gosh. This takes time, doesn't it? So it's best to have like a snapshot or something in this thing where I could just install it all pre-made. That's the promise of cloud and not doing the stuff manually like this. Anyway, now you know how to make an ISO boot with a new ESXi 6.5 web UI. So it's not easy. You've seen this happen on the Mac. That's just how it is. So I'm going to stop the video here because it's just chugging along and this isn't very interesting for you. Control Command to get the control. Well, wait a minute. It's almost done here. It looks good. This is good. It's putting in all the kernel stuff now. So next we're going to want to unmount the CD. I wonder if it'll do it for us. I don't care about this. Wow. Retrieving files. It must be doing it off the net. So this thing must be on the internet. I didn't think that my network was set up correctly with, so I'm really doing this over the management LAN, and I have the, wow, it's working. So I have the actual management LAN controlling the internet for this little VM here. Okay, let's not do that. Wow, this thing is really nasty. So what else do we want to put in here? I want an open SSH server for sure. That's all I want. That's fine. Continue. I can't believe this stuff's coming off the internet that fast. It must be coming off local stuff here. A long and painful video, huh? Like watching paint dry. Well, that's running. Let's do something more interesting and look at the actual machine running here. So what's our host doing here? Monitor our host and see how bad it is here. Okay, so our actual VMware server. Wow, this isn't even stressing it. It's not doing much at all to it. 10% of all my CPUs with this one VM installing it. That's pretty impressive, isn't it? Hardware performance. What are we looking at? CPU, memory, network. Yeah, it looks like it's hitting the network. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Disk. Wow, it's hitting the disk too. It's not that speedy, but okay, let's go back to our console and see what's going on here. It's still working away. What else can we do over here? There's a machine. What if we look at the machine directly here with the monitor and see what it's doing? So this basically then, out of 4 CPUs, we're not using much at all. Okay, this looks to be the same as the host. A little more dramatic in this view, I think. Network view. 10 megabits a second max. Wow, it's not very fast. All right, is this thing done yet? Yeah, I'll put in grub. Looks like it's about done. I forgot how nasty this install is on Ubuntu. It takes a long time. I'm pretty happy with Ubuntu though. I didn't take it very seriously 5 years ago, but now I'm like, wow, it's pretty hip. Works pretty good. Finishing up. It's finally done, huh? So, will it eject? Remove the installation disk. Yeah, it probably won't remove it, so can we do that now? Let's see if we can. Let's disconnect this thing and start up. Disconnect it. There we go. It's removed. Let's see if it'll work now. Let's continue. It should write the stuff and reboot the VM automatically. So now we're still using this console here, right? There's the reboot. There's Ubuntu. That looks reasonable, right? What's cool is this console is resizing too. That's pretty nice. Okay, well, I guess I installed server. I didn't put in anything with Windows, did I? But there we are. And it's working, so. Got 4 processors running. Good enough. Halt this thing. Shit, so this is all turned off now and shut down, right? Let's see if the VM's down on the ESXi side. Virtual machine. Looks like it still needs powered off right here. Or is it powered off now? I can't really tell. Power off right there. Okay. Just waiting. All right. Well, that did it. We installed a Ubuntu 16.04 server using the ISO on our system here. So we did use this ISO. So to recap, you have to put in this DMG with the remote console. You must put that in. And then you can select remote console when your machine boots up under actions here, remote console when you're booted. Launch remote console, and then you can connect your ISO image up and install Ubuntu or whatever you're working with, okay? So I sure hope this helped you, and if you survived this whole video, God bless you. Have a great day, and as usual, take care. Over and out from Movie Studio Land.